Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful concept that's completely reshaping how we look at education. It's called Panchakosha Vikas. Now, it might sound ancient, and it is, but it holds an incredibly modern answer to a question that I bet every single parent and teacher has asked themselves.
You know the question I'm talking about, right? You've seen it, you've probably wondered it yourself. Why is it that one child just seems to soak up everything like a sponge, while another one really struggles? What is actually going on there?
Well, the answer is kind of staring us right in the face, and it's both simple and profound. For a long time, we've been focusing on just one tiny piece of the puzzle. We've been teaching the brain, just the intellect, thinking that if we just pour enough facts in, learning will magically happen. But as we're discovering, that's not how kids really truly thrive.
So if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, it lies in this amazing framework called Panchakosha. It comes from the ancient Taittiriya Upanishad, and it's basically a map, a holistic map of how a human being develops. Think of it less like a new teaching method and more like a deeper, wiser way of understanding how we all grow.
All right, so let's get into the good stuff. Let's look at this map. These 5 sheaths, or koshas as they're called, give us a complete picture of a child. And it's a total revelation because it takes us from looking at a kid in one dimension, just their brain, to seeing them in their full, multi-layered reality.
So here they are, the 5 layers. You've got the Annamaya kosha, which is the physical body, then the Pranamaya kosha, the energy body, then Manomaya kosha, the emotional body. After that comes the Vijnanamaya kosha, the intellectual body, and at the very core, the Anandamaya kosha, or the bliss body. See how they're stacked? They start with the most concrete, the most physical, and move inwards to the most subtle. We're going to walk through each one.
Okay, first up, the foundation of everything, the Annamaya kosha. This literally means the sheath made of food. It's the physical body. It's the most basic, fundamental layer. We're talking about a child's health, their growth, their motor skills, everything that lets them move and interact with the physical world. This is the bedrock that all other learning is built on.
So how do we nurture this? Well, it's actually the fun stuff. It's not complicated. We're talking about daily outdoor play, letting kids run and jump and be kids. It's about bringing in things like yoga and simple movement activities. And it's getting their hands messy with drawing, painting, or clay. All those things that build up those super important fine motor skills.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's so simple. If a child is tired, if they're hungry, if their body is just craving movement, there's no way they can focus and learn effectively. The body is the car and the mind is the driver. If the car's out of fuel, you're not going anywhere.
Okay, moving to the next layer up, the Pranamaya kosha. This is the energy body. This is all about the prana, or life force, that flows through us and animates the physical body. It's what governs a child's breath, their energy levels, their ability to pay attention. You've seen a kid who is just buzzing with chaotic energy, right? Can't sit still for a second? That's their Pranamaya kosha being a little out of whack.
Now what's amazing here is how incredibly simple it is to help balance this energy. You don't need any expensive equipment. Just starting a class with 2 minutes of quiet, mindful breathing can completely change the vibe of a room. Simple breathing exercises, clapping games, music, these things work wonders. And here is the key takeaway for this layer. Think of the breath as the remote control for the mind. It's such a powerful idea. When we teach kids how to work with their breath, we're not just calming them down for a moment. We're giving them a tool, a superpower really, that they can use for the rest of their lives to manage their own energy and focus. All right, next we get to the Manomaya kosha. This is the emotional and mental world of the child. It's all about their feelings, their thoughts, how they interact with others. But most critically, this layer is about their feeling of emotional security. And this might be the absolute heart of the entire learning experience.
So how in the world do you nurture a child's emotional body? Well, it really comes down to connection. It's things like storytelling, which lets kids explore big emotions in a safe way. It's having circle time, where every single child knows their voice matters. And maybe the most important thing of all, creating a classroom where there is zero fear, zero shame, and absolutely no comparing one child to another.
I mean, this is one of the biggest truths in all of education. It's just brain science. When a kid feels anxious or afraid, the learning centers in their brain literally start to shut down. They can't learn. But a child who feels safe, who feels seen and supported, they're open, they're curious, they're like a sponge, ready to absorb everything. So now we finally get to the layer that traditional education usually focuses on almost exclusively, the Vijnanamaya kosha.
the intellectual body. This is all about thinking, reasoning, making decisions, being curious. But here's the kicker. Notice it's the fourth layer. It can only work at its best when those first three layers, the body, the energy, and the emotions, are healthy and balanced.
And the best way to develop a strong intellect isn't by force-feeding kids facts and figures. No way. It's about sparking their natural curiosity. It's about creating a culture of asking why all the time. It's about getting their hands dirty with projects where they discover the answers for themselves.
This right here is a total game changer for any teacher or parent. The goal shifts. You stop being the fountain of all knowledge, and you become a facilitator of thinking. The real goal isn't to build a memory bank of facts, it's to build the capacity to think critically and creatively.
And that brings us to the very center, the innermost sheath, the Anandamaya kosha, or the bliss body. Now, bliss here doesn't just mean being happy. It's that deep, profound state of joy and contentment you see when a child is completely absorbed in what they're doing. That state of flow where they lose all track of time. That's it.
And here's the really beautiful part. Joy isn't just some happy accident. You can actually design for it. You can cultivate it. We do this through the arts, through music, painting, dance. We do it through play-based learning, which is, the natural language of childhood. And we do it by genuinely celebrating the effort, celebrating those small wins, which builds that powerful inner motivation. Because when you tap into that joy, something truly magical happens. Learning stops being a chore. It stops being something you have to push a child to do. It becomes effortless, natural. It becomes something they are just pulled toward because it feels so good. Now, you might be listening to all this and thinking, okay, this is a beautiful philosophy, but is it just a nice idea? Is anyone really doing this? And the answer is a huge, resounding yes. This holistic approach is actually the core philosophy driving India's new national curriculum framework. It's all about seeing education not just as instruction, but as a total transformation of the child. This is the big realization. This is the aha moment. A child is not a report card. They're not a test score. A child is a complex, living, breathing, interconnected system of body, energy, emotion, intellect, and joy. And when you nurture the whole system, the entire system just thrives. So, what's the ultimate takeaway from all this? It's that we have to completely redefine what the goal of education is. It's not about cramming a child's head full of information. It is about the profound, beautiful process of transformation, of helping a complete, amazing human being blossom into their full potential. And that, right there, is the incredible promise of Panchakosha Vikas.